Yeah, so yeah, we're carrying on from the last time where we get to the ram. Yeah, so the people were doing what they were doing, building things up, and the gods, not the Lord God, but the gods, decided they weren't having any of it. So they went and co-founded the people, and then came back and confounded them. And I presume from that point, they stopped building the tower. And then it jumps, the tail jumps up into a genealogy, and then we end up with this one called Bran. So, for whatever reason, the gods or the Lord, God, the Lord, not the Lord God, but the Lord, decided to find favor in one man and said to him that, in fact, let's get it right. So in chapter 12, this is where God calleth Abraham and blesseth him with promise of Christos, oil, I presume. Okay, in the spinal fluid, on top of it. Anyway, yes, he departeth with Lot from Haran. Haran being his Lot's dad, I think. He Iowardneath through Canaan, which is promised him in a vision. Right? He is drew in by a famine into Egypt. Fear maketh him feign his wife to be his sister, and Pharaoh, having taken her from him by plagues, is compelled to restore her. So there you go. Now, how did this all happen? Right? What happened is, now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee. That's how the Lord came about and explained it to Abraham. Now, there isn't any explanation of these encounters, unless presumably somewhere as we go along we're going to find it. But how the Lord would communicate with Abram is still a mystery. Because if he showed up as a ghost, or I don't know how he would show up, how the Lord would show himself or itself to someone, and explain to him that he needed to leave his father's house and his brethren and go to this land. So a vision. So he saw a vision of God. Okay. I think someone should try that today. See a vision and explain to people that you're doing things because they saw a vision. And verse number 2 says, And I will make of thee a great nation. Okay. And I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. I suppose I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that saith thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Well, okay. How about everybody else? I suppose Abraham had perhaps good conduct. So he's going to be blessed, and everybody else can go to everybody else is excluded for some reason. In any event, Abraham took his stuff and departed, as the Lord has spoken unto him, and he took the the other character with him, the Lot character. And Abraham was 75 years old. He was older than the other one. He was older. He's 75 years. The other, hang on a second. 75. He's a baby. Hang on a second. Because the guy with the ship, he was 600 when the Lord appeared to him. 70, he says. And that's verse number 4. So Abraham was 70 and 5 years old when he departed out of Haran. Right. So 75 is a little baby compared to the shipman who's 600 years old when God tells him to build the thing that is going to save him and the other animals, which will be eventually burnt. So he's a young boy, and he's been sent off to go to find a land where he's going to be made into a great man, and a whole bunch of things are going to happen. So we carry on with the stories. So he's a young boy, and Abraham took his Sarai, his wife, and Lot his brother Soni, and all their substance that they had gathered, and their souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. Just like that. Okay. So the memory's got a vision. The ram, the Abraham, and then he's packed his belongings. Took a bunch of his mates, including a nephew and his wife, and is taken off. They don't mention what kind of transportation he's using to get to Canaan. Presumably just walking, or they may have some donkeys with them. So Abraham passed through the land, went to the Shechem. I hope we're not going to get into the names again. Shechem, went to the plain of Moreh, and Canaanite was then in the land. So they passed two ends and came about Canaan after that. And the Lord appeared again. Here we go. He's going to appear again now. The Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land, and there builded he an altar. Again, oh no, what are they going to do now? Something's going to happen. When they build an altar, either someone's going to get, well, let's see. Unto the Lord who appeared unto him, and he removed from thence unto to a mountain on the east of Beth-el, and pitched his tent having Beth-el on right. So Bethel is on the west, and Abraham, he says Abraham in Egypt. So they build the tents, and now they're going to camp in this place. So he journeyed south, and there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to something else there. Should we sojourn there? Take a break. For the famine was grievous in the land. So the famine was deadly, so he's gone to Egypt, And it came to pass he came near to enter into Egypt, and he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. In other words, she was all right. She was fit. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee. Oh, sorry, still him speaking. Therefore it shall come to pass that when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill thee. But they will say with thee, Eloi. So they're taking the Egyptians. They're going to like her, and I don't know. Yeah. So here we go. We're carrying on with this Abram and Sarai. Okay. Say I pray thee, thou art my sister, and I may be well with me for thy sake, and my Suli shall live because of thee. So that's him. He's done telling her what she's going to do. And it came to pass that when Abraham was come into Egypt, and Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. And the princes all of Pharaoh saw her, and commanded her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. These guys are ruthless. You see, as soon as you're fair, they're going to take you into the Pharaoh's house. So she must have been pretty fair. Quite fair. So she's in the Pharaoh's house, and he entered Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep, an ox, and he asses. He asses. He asses. Maybe he had huge asses. No, he asses. Probably. Whatever asses he had. Whether they were big or small, it doesn't matter. But there were some asses, and men Saruans, and maid Saruans, and she asses. She had more asses, and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. Wow. So this is kidnap we're talking about. At least some sort of false imprisonment. You can't just take people and lock them up because they're fair, just because they're the Pharaoh. That's a bit underhanded. It's an abuse of office. I don't know. Just an opinion. Nonetheless, 18. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men. Okay, so he's finished saying, tell him to take his little bit, take his wife and depart. Take her and go ye thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. There's a bit of a deviation. I mean, that's I've heard there's a similar story I've heard of somebody else. Let my people go. I watched a film a long time ago. Let my people go. And it was a similar story about plagues, but there was no wife though, because the Pharaoh this time held a bunch of people as slaves. That was a story in the film. So this is a bit of a deviation, because why would they? I presume there's going to be an explanation in the next chapter. Because why would they have a whole chapter where the God gives this guy a vision, is going to be great, and then his wife gets kidnapped, and then there's plagues which are not explained what kind of plagues there were, and then Pharaoh gets fed up with his plagues and gives her back to him, and then that is it. Oh, the other story was interesting because the other one explained there was some flies, I believe. Some what else was there? There was locusts. There was some boils, blood in the river, or it turned red, and a whole bunch of pretty good plagues. These plagues in this section, they're not quite as entertaining as the other one. Okay, so that's it for now. For chapter number